Hello and welcome to ELI University. My name is Danny, and today we're going to talk about labeling a surface. This is going to work for existing surfaces, proposed surfaces, anything that you need to label in a surface will be covered here today. So what we are looking at is an existing surface taken from a previous video. What we want to do is go to the Annotate tab up at the top, and the first button on the left-hand side is Add Labels. Now you can click the top button, which brings up the Add Labels dialog box, where it allows you to choose your feature. Let's say we want to label a surface, so you drop down feature to surface, label type slope, you drop that down, spot elevation, contour single, contour multiple. This is a great way to do it. My preferred way is to hit the button below the tag and go directly to what I want to label. So let's say we want to label some contour intervals. I'm going to click the Add Labels button. I'm going to mouse over surface, which is going to fly out to the right, and we want to go to contour single. Down in the command line, you're going to see Add Contour Labeling Single. Select contour line, and you don't have to be dead on the contour to add the label. You just need to be very close to it. Now you're going to notice something that I'm going to show you in a minute. Let's say you do miss, and you end up with a line that looks like this. That line is the same thing as the Annotate, Add Labels, Surface, Contour Multiple, and I'm going to show you why it's the same thing. So I was very close to this contour, but not close enough for it to know that that was the one that I wanted to choose. So instead it gives me this line with grips. If I grab one of those endpoint grips, watch what happens. It's showing us the 605 contour. If I cross the 604, it's going to add that. 604 again, 604 again. All that is the contour multiple labeling line. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to the Annotate tab. I'm going to click Add Labels. I'm going to go to Surface. I'm going to click Contour Multiple. And what it's asking me is to specify a first point down in the command line. So let's click here, 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 and right click. Now you'll notice there's no visible line between these contour labels. And the reason is because this was not intentionally put in as a multiple contour label. Because it was close to this contour and it was labeling it as a single, it's still going to give us that ability to cross multiple contours, just like if we select one of the singles that we put in, you're going to notice those three same grips. You can turn a single into a multiple if you need to. Everywhere that line crosses a contour is going to give you a contour label. Now, looking at this multiple contour label, this one is set up correctly because we started the multiple contour labeling with the correct command. Because we took a single contour label here and dragged it across multiple contours, if we select that line and go into our properties, you're going to notice surface contour label group. It turns it from a single into a group. Display contour label line is set to true. If we set that to false and then hit escape, it's exactly the same as the contour multiple. Surface contour label group. The only difference is display contour label line is set to false. So that's how you quickly label existing surfaces. You can just do Add Labels, Surface, Contour Multiple, just cross it a bunch of times, get some labels in there. Another way to label an existing surface is to go to the Add Labels button, Surface, Contour Multiple at Interval. It's going to ask you to choose your first point. So let's go down here where the contours are a little more dense. I'm going to pick in here, and I'm going to go down that direction. Now notice it didn't label those contours right away. Instead, the command line is asking us another question. Interval along contour. What this means is that it's going to put a label every X feet that you specify. So let's say we wanted to label it every 100 feet. We're just going to keep that 100-foot default and press enter. You'll notice that there are contour labels all over these contours now, because anywhere this line is crossing, it's going to label every crossing contour every 100 feet. Now, if we need to move this around, we can. Let's pull it to here. It's still a multiple contour label, but the difference is it's adding single contour labels every 100 feet. So you need to be careful with this command because it will make a mess very quickly. Where we started with just this multiple contour label line, because we told it to label all of those crossing contours every 100 feet, it's adding single labels to those contours every 100 feet. So if you did need to get rid of them, you would probably have to use something like select similar. Here, I'll show you. Select similar. It will select all of those contours, but let's say we wanted to keep these ones up here, we would just have to deselect those and then erase. Okay, let's add another surface label. Annotate tab, add labels, surface. Let's go with slope. So slope gives you two options. It gives you 1 point and 2 point. 2 point lets you control the direction that the arrow is facing. So if we select 2 point and we say, I'm going to start here and I'm going to end here, it's going to take the arrowhead in the direction of the second point. So let's say I do that again. Add labels, slope. If I go the opposite direction, the first time I went north to south, if I go south to north, I'm going to do 2 point, south to north. The second point is always where the arrowhead is. So that means that whatever the slope is, whether it's a negative or positive slope, the arrow is going to point toward wherever you click your second point. If we go back to add labels, we go to surface, we go to slope, and we do 1 point, it's just a single click, and it's going to add a slope label facing downhill. If it can't face downhill, it's going to just give you a 0. So this is a flat top right here. There's nothing there. What about here? It's going down at 6.9% this direction. Same with all of these. Now, what's nice about these labels is that the single labels will rotate based on where they are landing on your surface. You'll notice it's kind of bobbling around. Watch what happens if I pull down here. It switched directions completely. The 2 point labels allow you to control based on those two vertices. So let's say you didn't want to see a negative slope showing the downward slope of the surface, and you wanted to say this is 15.9% going uphill. That's okay too. How about from the top of this little peak here down, it's going down at 30.7%. The last thing we can add a label for is annotate tab, add labels, surface. We're going to add spot elevation, and it's going to ask us to select a point. We can click anywhere in here. Now, the spot elevations are a little bit different in that you might want them to look or display differently based on whether it's an existing or a proposed surface. So let's select one of these spots, select similar, and go into our properties. Let's say instead of having a dot for the point label, we're going to go into the properties, and under marker style, let's change it from basic to crown marker. Crown marker gives us a nice X. Let's say, hey, we don't want these to be proposed labels because this is an existing surface. ELI PR elevation only down here for surface spot elevation label style. We're going to select it, click the down arrow, and we're going to pick ELI EX elevation only. And you'll notice that it swaps it to italicized. It also changes it to an existing layer. So that's pretty much it. Once you have a surface in your drawing, you can quickly label your surface with the dynamic labels. Based on the area that you need to work within, you can label it using the interval contour labels if you need to show multiple labels across a huge area. All of these labels are annotative, so it doesn't matter what your viewport scale is. They will always be plan readable, meaning that they're within 89 degrees of flat, and they will scale up and down with your viewport scale. So that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next one.